let's head out to Boulder. We got to talk some Colorado Buffalo recruiting. What a weekend it was. Colorado beat Cincinnati in prime time. Colorado brings in top quarterback target Julian Lewis. Now, Deion Sanders and the Buffs put on a absolute show. Steve, what are you hearing on Julian Lewis coming out of this one?
Well, right before I jumped on with you guys here to record the latest episode of Wiltfong Whip Around, hit like and subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel, please, for the best recruiting information from the Inside Scoop with Josh Newberg, the 5-Star Flex with Philip Dukes, and the Wiltfong Whip Around, among other shows. They said they don't think Julian Lewis is going to stick with USC. Now, look, we talked to various sources about this recruitment, and there are people that do think he's going to stick with USC. I think things remain very fluid with Julian Lewis as they continue to have dialogue with Indiana, Colorado, and USC, where he's a longtime commit and visited twice this fall. But what we do know is that he had a fantastic experience at Colorado this weekend, talking to several sources that spent time or have knowledge of this Julian Lewis recruitment. This is his 4th time visiting Boulder, a chance to get out there on Friday night because he didn't have a game this weekend, to get around the players on the team, to get back around the coaching staff, to see this Colorado program really develop. He was there for spring practice, and the family, I remember his dad telling me, they got playmakers. This is an offense that's going to be explosive, but they wanted to see it in live, real action, and they've gotten just that. This is one of the more prolific offenses in college football with the quarterback under center that's going to be in line for all the major awards in college football. Another thing that's exciting about Colorado for Julian Lewis is that Shedeur Sanders is exhausting his eligibility following the season, moving on to the NFL. And that job is wide open for next year. And if Julian Lewis wants to be a day one starter on Saturday, Colorado might be his best opportunity among the 3 programs. Colorado pointing towards the lens that's on their program and the opportunity that brings you in the NIL arena, pointing to Shedeur Sanders and all the advertisements that he's in and all the social media impressions he gets. Those are things that are exciting to Julian Lewis and his camp as well. So Colorado's got a lot going for them in the recruitment of the 5-star quarterback. I expect him to be back at Indiana for the Michigan game in a couple weeks. They tried to make the Nebraska game in Bloomington happen a couple weekends ago, but just travel logistics, it wasn't easy enough to power through and get to Indiana. But Indiana's awesome season to date is also resonating. That offense, the success they're having in the Big Ten. So Julian Lewis, he's got 3 good options because, of course, USC and what Lincoln Riley's done historically at quarterback and offense still front in his mind. And he's been out there twice for games this fall. Maybe he'll get back for the Nebraska game in November, which is lining up to be another big weekend for the Trojans. But Colorado in the middle of this one, going into their bye week, having just hosted their top overall target. They need a quarterback in this class. They didn't sign one last year. Neither did USC. So very important position for Deion Sanders and Lincoln Riley in 2025.
That battle is just heating up. All right, let's talk more Colorado recruiting buzz because the Buffs were able to complete their flip. A 4-star wide receiver, Adrian Wilson, who was committed to Arizona State before the game even started. So in the stands, I saw something interesting. 2 USC commits, Steve, were sitting together side by side watching the Buffs win. That's Julian Lewis and offensive tackle Carde Smith, who is also committed to the Trojans. But what are you hearing on him coming out of this visit?
Well, confidence has been growing all fall around people that have spent time with Carde on both his visits to Colorado, that the Buffaloes have a great chance to flip him. We know that Deion Sanders is always good for a big flip or two. Since he's been a head football coach, going back to his time getting the spatula out on Travis Hunter at Jackson State. They had some big-time flips at the end of last cycle. They went out for Jordan Seaton. Who's it going to be this cycle? Julian Lewis, Carde Smith, 2 of their most coveted guys. They just got done flipping Adrian Wilson, who's having a fantastic senior season down there in the Lone Star State. He can't wait to play in Coach Shermer's air raid offense. And Julian Lewis and Carde Smith could be right there alongside him when all said and done.
That's unbelievable to hear. Colorado fans, talk to us. Are the Buffs going to flip both of USC's targets that were on campus this weekend? Talk to us. Let us know. Comment section below how we're feeling